right, let's revisit, again, something we've done before. We're multiplying by this type of power of 10. If you remember, a power of 10 that was smaller than 1 actually moved the decimal to the left. And we move it to the left as many spots, or as many places, as there are decimal places. So there's one decimal place here, so I'm going to move this decimal to the left one spot, or one place. So the answer to this is 5.632. That's the answer to that problem. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Same thing, power of 10, less than 1. I'm going to move the decimal to the left as many places as there are decimal places. So there are 2 decimal places. I'm going to move this over twice. 1, 2, which is 0.5632. Awesome, right? That's what we did before. Now let's talk about how it relates to, because the whole point of math is to relate one concept to another concept. If you can't do that, it's not good. It's not good. All right, let's take a look at this. Let's do 2a. 56.32 divided by 10. I'm going to tell you a secret. Because I know the answer to this, I know the answer to this. Do you know why? Okay, I'll tell you. This is truly, watch, 56.32 times, I'm going to write this as a fraction, 1/10, which is 56.32 over 10. It's the same question! It's the same question! So this is also 5.632. Okay, let's look at B. In B, you have 56.32 over 100. And again, watch, because I know this answer, I swear I know this one. Watch this. I'm going to write this in terms of a fraction. What I have here is, ready? 56.32 times 1/100, which is 56.32 over 100, which is the same question I'm trying to answer. So the answer to this question B is 0.5632. So what do I now know? I now know that when I divide by a power of 10, I move the decimal to the left as many zeros as there are in a number. A power of 10 bigger than 1. So there's 1 0, I move this to the left 1 spot. There's 2 zeros, I move the decimal to the left 2 spots. Okay, it's because this is the same as this. This is the same as this. Okay, so that's how I know that. So how does that help me solve this next question? 2C, 56.32 or 56 32 hundredths divided by 1,000. Okay, that's a power of 10. That's bigger than 1, so I divide by as many zeros that are in my number. So there are 3 zeros, so I'm going to move the decimal 3 places to the left. 1, 2, 3. So it's 0.05632. That's what happens when you divide by a power of 10 bigger than 1. You wind up moving the decimal to the left as many places as there are zeros. Okay. Let's take a look at this next question. Check out that car. That's a cool car. Okay. Kind of funky color, but I don't know if I drive around in that. Okay. Alice pays $247.62 every month on her car loan. If she owes $5,278, oh, no, sorry, let's do that again. She owes $5,200.78. How long will it take her to pay off her car? I just added $78 to her car loan. Sorry about that, Alice. Okay, well, we know she pays the same amount every month, and we know how much she owes. Well, we want to separate that amount into equal amounts. That means we're dividing. So we have to take 5,200.78, we want to divide it by 247.62. I wrote it that way for a reason. I want to show you something. We're not dividing by a power of 10, so it's not this easy. I have to show you another way to do this. And what we did just a second ago in the last lesson, we learned how to divide by an integer. That means no decimal places in a number. There are decimal places in a number. But wouldn't it be cool if there were no decimal places in a number? All right, take it out. No, you can't do that. But what you can do is understand division is really just a fraction. So I can make an equivalent fraction and I can take out that decimal. So for instance, if I want to move this decimal to the very end, because I want to divide, this is the number I'm dividing by, I want to divide by an integer. So I'm going to multiply the bottom by 100. You know why 100? Because I'm multiplying by a power of 10 bigger than 1, it moves the decimal to the right. How many places do I want to move this to the right? 2. But if I move this to the right, if I multiply this by 100, what do I have to multiply the top by? Oh, yes, 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 that's right, 100. You know why? Yes, you know why. I know you know why. Because we are multiplying the entire fraction by 1. That allows us to keep the fractions equivalent. Okay, so this is what we're really doing. Our new problem here is 520078 divided by 24762. Okay, so now here's what I'm really dividing. So notice what I did. I moved the decimal here twice. I had to move the decimal here twice. So that's how you divide. You take the decimal. I'm going to show you this way. Watch. This is what I started with, remember? And I started as a fraction so I can show you why we did it. But remember what you used to learn? Oh, just move the decimal over if there's a decimal in it. 1, 2, to the end. Well, then I have to move it here. 1, 2. That's all I did. Here's that same question. The decimal's here now, at the very end. So here is that question. The reason I showed it to you this way is I wanted to show you why that works. Don't do it just because we tell you to do it. Do it because what you're really doing is forming equivalent fractions. Why are you doing that? Because in the last section we learned how to divide by an integer, so we know how to do this problem. So we're really creating equivalent fractions. So let's look at this problem. Okay, so 52,007 divided by 24,762, this is enormous, is 2. When I multiply by 2, I get 49,524. And now I have to subtract. 7 minus 4 is 3. Okay, now I'm going to have to borrow. So that becomes 19. There's your 10. That's 8. That's 4. I'm going to have to borrow again. That's 2483. But now I have to bring down. Well, now I have to go 24,838 into 24,838 divided by 24,762, and I get 1. 24,762. I have to now subtract. 8 minus 2 is 6. Have to borrow. I get 7, and the rest are zeros. But here's the problem. I can't leave a remainder. So here's the deal. Remember, we're talking about how many months. So here's what I'm going to do. I need to put a point now, because I'm at the end of my number. There's a point at the end of my number. And I will add a 0. I will do this in a different color. I will add a 0. Okay? So I'm going to add a 0. And then I'm going to bring it down. I had to put a point because I'm at the end of my number. If you recall, in the last problems we did, we didn't have to add a point because there were already decimals in the front here. So here we go. 2,000, oh, that's 0. That's 0. That number does not go into this number. Now here's the deal. We are trying to give you how many months. Well, it's going to be approximately 21 months, but you have a little bit of leftover. So it's not really 21 months. It's really over 21 months. So really, in the real world, you'd say about 22 months. So that's the answer to that question. Because, of course, you'd continue, you'd add more zeros and finish this, but that you can't have 21, we're not going to go 21.06 months or whatever it is. So it's 22 months rounded. Okay? So that's how that goes. That's an extremely hard problem. Big numbers. All right, let's take a look at some more. Be really careful with these. Make sure you understand how to do this, that you have to move the decimal. But we're going to talk about why you move the decimal. All right, let's take a look at this. I showed you doing this by making a fraction. All right, I'm going to just show you that you're probably going to just do this. I'm going to move this over twice because I want to divide by an integer. So, but if I move it over twice here, I'm moving it over twice here. Just make sure you understand why. You are truly forming an equivalent fraction. You really just multiplied the numerator, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but this is really what you did. You said, I need that to be a whole number. I'll multiply that by 100. I'll multiply that by 100. So that's what you did. And by doing that, this became a 6 out to the end, and this became 180. Remember 180.72, because multiplying by 100 moves the decimal over 2 places. That's what you're doing. Now, this gets so ugly with the arrows and the moving that I always like to rewrite the problem. This is now 6 into 180.72. Lift up the point, and now we're dividing by an integer, which is something you know how to do. Let's do some division. 30 monkeys, here we go. Divide. 6 goes into 18 3 times. I get 18. I subtract, that's 0. I bring down, I get 0. 6 cannot go into 0. I have to put it there. Now I bring down the 7. 007. 6 goes into 7 once. I subtract 6 because 1 times 6 is 6. I get a 1. Bringing down. 30 monkeys smell bad. 6 into 12 goes 2. And I am done because 6 times 2 is 12. No remainder. There's no signs here, so everything's positive. 30.12, or 30 and 12 hundredths. That was awesome. Okay, ready? Let's go. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. Take care of the sign first. I'm dividing by this, so that goes on the outside. That front 0 makes me see more 0, so I'm going to take it out. Now remember, that's 32 point. Probably want to put that in. This is not an integer. Since it's not an integer, we're going to move it to make it an integer. So we got to move it to the end of the number. 1 place, 2 place, 3 places. If I move the decimal 3 places there, I have to move the decimal 3 places here. So this is really just 5 into, oh, into such a bad word, 32,000 divided by 5. That's really what you have there. We know the answer is positive, and now we're just going to, I'm going to do short division here, but it's just too easy. 5 into 32 goes 6 times, that's 30, remainder 2. 5 into 20 is 4, 0, 0. Oh, by the way, there's your point. You may want to show it. There's your point. My answer is 6,400. Not hundreds, 100, D-R-E-D. So 6,400 is my answer. And it's positive because it's a negative divided by a negative. So cool. All right, let's do another one. Last one. Let's do it for the Gipper. You don't know who the Gipper is, do you? I knew that. Number 3. Negative 8.1. That's about 8. Divided by 0.025. Okay, here we go. Well, here's what's really going on in this problem. This is negative 8.1 divided by 0.025. I don't know what I was thinking. Don't ask me. 8.1. I know that I'm going to get a negative answer because the signs are different. Be sign conscious. But now I have to move the decimal here 3 places to get it to the end. 1, 2, 3. So I have to move it 3 places here, which means I'm going to have to add 2 zeros. 1, 2, 3. So this question truly is just 25 into 8,100, or 8,100 divided by 25. I could do this. 25 is cool. They're quarters. I love quarters. Okay, 81 divided by 25 is 3. By the way, here's the decimal, if you care. Okay, subtract. We get 6. Bring down the 0. 25 into 60 is twice, and make sure they go right above the number. 25 into 60 is twice, and 25 times 2 is 50. We get 10. Oh, boy. Oh, I am just so loving this. There's your 100. 25 into 100 goes 4 times. So your answer is 324. But yes, it's negative. Sign conscious. Okay, so that's the end of dividing by decimals. Now we're going to go to comparing fractions with decimals.